What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trill here with my heterosexual life partner. I know you haven't heard that in a while. Paul.
You're just dying to say that, weren't you?
I forgot him. Yes, I was, I'm not gonna lie. But we are coming to you guys today with a video. It's kind of niche, I think.
Yeah, kind of niche.
Kind of niche. Like, I mean, it's one of those preference type videos. But anyway, why some people choose to run 60 cards over 40?
Yeah, because in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's this myth, right? This established thing. You got to run 40 cards, huh?
40 is the number.
40 or bust. 40. That 41st card makes you trash, garbage, a scrub.
Right.
You know, burn all your cards. Quit this game. But you can run more than 40 cards. Surprise.
There's actually method to the madness.
And the reason that I have Trell for this video is because you might not have known. I don't think you've run 40 cards in a deck in like 5 years.
I've run 40 cards in the deck since probably about 2013 or 14.
Trell's, you're not a big 40 cards fan. Not a big 40 cards fan.
So sometimes small packages just don't do it.
Yeah, sometimes bigger is better. So we have some reasons why you might want to run 60 cards and just kind of what that's like.
Right.
You being the person who does it so often, why do you just gravitate towards more cards?
The number one and obvious answer is options. Especially options. As the game has gone on, there have been more situations where your hand traps have become a huge thing at one point. And also, if you are playing against a person who's already got an established board, those type of things, you want options because a lot of decks are pretty standard. You know, even if it's a meta deck or if it's not a meta, even a lot of rogue decks are pretty standard. Yeah. So at that point, your opponent knows what they have to play around and play through because it's a standard deck.
Right.
But with 60 cards, yes, they know the standard plays that you can make, but you've got more options now. So not only are they preparing for what they know that you do have, they don't know the thing that you don't have, and that's where you actually are able to capitalize and actually turn a duel around. Because that extra few cards can change the entire duel or the entire match just that quickly.
Yeah, for me, like, I think what's really similar to that reason is deck building feels so cramped now.
Yes.
In this world where sometimes, like, you know, you gotta run like 9 hand traps, right? You gotta have 3 Ash, you gotta have 3 Veiler, you gotta have, 3 of all these things. That you just might
have a lot of 25% of your deck
space.
Right there.
Yeah, like there's not a lot of space left for your like actual engine. And so I think that with like more than 40 cards sometimes, even if it's like 45, 42, 45,
random number,
that kind of like 50, I still think that there's a lot of value there because you do get to actually run more of the cards you want to run.
Agreed.
What else?
Not gonna lie, for me sometimes it is just indecisiveness. Sometimes there's just this card that you just don't want to take out of your deck.
I can vouch for him in that.
Sometimes
Charles is the most indecisive person at events.
But like, it's got me
on registration days. Find this guy on a Friday at like pre-reg at 6 p.m.
And I'm still
not knowing.
I don't know what I'm gonna play. I don't know what my deck list is gonna look like. And that's the thing too, is a lot of times Paul didn't tell y'all that, but a lot of times I do come to the event with 40 cards. I come to the event with 40 cards and I'm like, this is not going to work. I don't like this. I want to run those cards. And I just throw them in. That's what I did at Atlanta.
I will say, like, that sometimes, like, when it comes to like 41 or 42, people get a little too like caught up in the math.
That's true.
People get too like, 40 is optimal, like these are the percentage chances. But like 41st card's not. Like, I think in a real world context, a 41st card or something isn't going to like it's not gonna like change. I don't think that it's as big a deal as people say. When I was running Cyber Dragons, I put a 41st card in. It was like Jizakir, like the kaiju, and I didn't love it or hate it. It was just it never felt like that. 41st card's the reason why I didn't. It never. Usually the games I lost were still just on me. I either misplayed or it was a bad matchup. It never felt like, it affected my hands or something and gave me a bunch of bricks.
Right.
I think people will get like really caught up in that.
Another thing is deciding options.
That's a good one.
I've got like 60 cards in my deck now, and I want to side 12. In a 40 card deck, you can't side 12 cards. And this is just hypothetical, you know, because sometimes, depending on how bad the matchup is for you, you're going to side more cards.
Yeah.
In 60 cards, I've got plenty of space to move some of these engines out and still make my deck be able to do what it needs to do. Plus, being able to side the cards I need to see for this upcoming duel. So siding is very important as well.
I super agree. I mean, in 40 card decks, sometimes like we've trimmed the fat on a lot of our engines that
Already,
we're running.
yeah.
So certain stuff just can't come out because it's so crucial to the engine, and you just aren't able to side in all the things you want.
Because how many times have you gone to side and then you side and you gotta start the game and you're like, if only I had this other card, but I sided it out.
And you just can't, like, you know, there's not enough space to do everything you want.
Right.
And speaking of space, actually, I would say that a good benefit. The neighbors are walking a dog outside, taking a dog outside.
I don't think the dog is very
A good benefit.
sound cooperating. He does not sound willing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's probably being dragged out. So if you're running like an engine that's needs more than 40 cards, like I think that there's some decks where they have access to so many different things. A good example, maybe it's easier with an example. Mermails back in the day. Do you remember like 50, 60 card Mermail decks?
Mermail decks were the thing. 55,
Same
57.
with like the Shadal Burning Abyss decks. You remember kind of when people
would
mix those
and
and
nice.
yeah.
It's really nice.
Whenever there's like a lot of cards you seem to be able to fit in, I think that 60 cards or even like 50 works really, really well.
Yeah.
It can actually reduce bricking sometimes because you're able to kind of like space. Am I making sense?
No, it does.
Yeah, like I feel like you're able to like space certain engines out because like you'll like a lower chance of seeing garnets. Right. You know.
A lot of your cards are hard once per turn, and but even though they're hard once per turn, a lot of times we run 3 of them because you want to see it, but you always run into the issue where you might see too many multiples of it.
Yeah.
With 60 cards, I mean, like mathematically, like your chances lessen of you actually drawing multiples of that card in a 60 card deck. Like I said, also with garnets. So like back when Brilliant Fusion was this huge thing, you played 40 cards. You're gonna draw the Brilliant. You're gonna draw the Garnet, or if you play the Predaplant engine, you were gonna draw the little Scorpio or whatever it's called.
So
more
when you're
times
playing
than
60
not.
cards, you're able to like kind of less chance of drawing the Garnets, but if you still are able to search like the Brilliant Fusion with the Predaplants, then you don't have to worry so much about that.
It's still an option to you. Exactly, and that matters a lot. And you can run triples of anything and see them as you need to throughout the game. So.
Yeah, and it works even better for consistent decks. Like just decks where everything is searchable. I think that was a big thing with the Shadal Shadal Burning Abyss deck like back in the day. Was
we had Central Shadow games,
so much
we had Hedgehog,
searching.
Beast.
So you never had to worry about like, oh, I'm running so many cards. Will I ever see, you know, these things? Well, you will because your deck is consistent.
Your deck is meant to cycle through the cards quickly. So yeah.
Pot of Desires, another good reason. If you're running like 50 or 60 cards, then banishing 10 is
hardly anything.
Yeah, it's a lot less meaningful. I know for some decks, you know, resolving 2 Pot of Desires in a game, it might get you the pluses, but if you're running a 40 card deck, you've banished 20 cards, you probably don't have much left, and you probably lost a lot of things.
That's true.
60 card decks, you can run Pot of Desires all day long. You can resolve like 3 of it, and you might even be okay.
I think I've actually resolved 3 Pot of Desires in one game. I don't know how I won that, but I did.
But I think the last reason, honestly, probably relates the most to you, really, in general. It's a challenge, I think, to deck build with 60 cards.
It is.
I think it's a very different type of challenge.
It is.
Like,
for me, it is. I mean, you have 40 cards, and most decks are standard, but now you're playing 60. So there's the challenge of bricking, that can happen. Let's just be honest, it's 60 cards. But there's also the challenge of what can this 60 card deck do? And I said, I'm always a person who's all about options. So my thing is, I like to catch my opponent off guard. That's a big thing for me as well.
Yeah, I think that defines.
No one knows
style,
what
really.
it does, but no one knows what's in a 60 card deck. There really is no quote unquote standard 60 card deck. I mean, it's 60 cards, so literally you all have to put whatever you want into this deck, and it's the challenge of actually making it work consistently, because that's the biggest thing. We do 40 cards because it's optimized, or that's the myth anyway, is that 40 cards is optimal for the decks. But if you got 60 and you can actually make it work, then that's a whole other monster that people have to deal with. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you're running 60 cards, it's just the ratios are different. You know, the engines are different. There's more options available to you, and your opponent has a challenge in facing that too.
That's true.
Very fun.
They don't know what they're dealing with.
And maybe grass will come back one day. Not related to anything in the topic. It's just a very something I wouldn't mind happening.
You tease.
I like grass. I didn't think it was broken.
I love grass. Still like grass.
But anywho, that's the video. I think the moral of the story here is don't let anyone tell you you have to run 40. There's no hard, fast rule.
I thought the moral was to be like me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Grow your hair out.
But I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction. Don't be like Trell, kids. Anything but Trell, kids. No, but yeah, try out like 45 cards in your favorite deck. It's a good place to start.
Just try 43.
Try like some small number, and then you might end up liking it, and then you can run 60.
I'm currently running a 56 card deck just for the heck of it, so. And it's working. It is.
Be like Trell. Try it out. Hopefully this video was informative and maybe gave you some additional perspective why you might want to try this out. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Vids like this. We've done a few other ones about things like draw power, for instance, that kind of stuff, going second.
Going second, yes.
And end of video things. Thumbs up, subscribe, check out Ink Gaming, join our Discord, send us mail. All the information is down in the description.
Read the description, people.
Yeah, that's the real moral of the story.
All right.
Just click the video and just read the description. Don't watch the video.
You might as well do it.
All right, that is it. We'll see y'all in the next one. Pass turn.